So here we are, episode 11 of Uno Taco. Well, it's been funny. I recorded some tacos here. So you're going to watch me eat tacos. Man, back at Diablos, some good old chicken tacos here. Enjoying them as I share this with you. So the question, I guess the big question for today, for this Uno Taco, and I'm trying to leave this at one question because there's a lot of branches that sort of go off. I'm literally doing the flutter thing with my fingers behind the microphone here, okay? My fingers are doing the dazzle, sparkle, cheerleader thing, all right? As things branch off of this, I will try to bring it back in. Okay, now I'm making the river. The universal river symbol with my hand. Okay, who cares what I'm doing behind the microphone? Here's the question. Who's having more impact on who? Is YouTube going to be having more impact on the creators and the engagers and the community? Or is the community, the creators, all the people engaging there having more impact on what YouTube is? That's the question. So recently, guidelines changed, as many of you know. Maybe some of you don't know. Two of the really big changes that came out of this most recent update and agreement for YouTube is that, of course, three. Okay, three, real quick. First of all, quote-unquote adult language is allowed. There's no sort of demonetization due to language itself. Of course, that is very subjective. While it's considered adult language, things like bullying, of course, aren't allowed. There's ways that really has to be reported and cited, not really through the algorithm, but the algorithm itself, the AI of YouTube will not filter or demonetize due to that. So second of all, big change is that if you have children regularly featured on your YouTube channel, now comments are turned off automatically and you're given a link so people can engage with your video somewhere else, but it's not there, of course, to protect children. I understand, even though I find that's very interesting because it's hard for channels now to get engagement because, guys like Dude Dad, awesome guy, great channel content, has had a lot of his videos switched over to this when it comes to the comment section. So now engagement's changed for him and for his team. So I wonder how that's going. I'm curious. And then the third thing I wanted to mention today, of course, was that, for us who are creating content, who have less than 1,000 subscribers, now videos can be put onto our ads can be put onto our videos, and we don't get any sort of monetization option for that. There is no, there's no benefit to creators. There's no bones being thrown in the direction of the community until you have met that benchmark of 1,000 subscribers. And in a world where there are more and more subscribers than ever coming, just as far as like a general pool, it's kind of intimidating, right? If you have a successful video and you have 50 subscribers, and let's say it goes viral and you've got millions of views, YouTube, for example, can throw an ad, multiple ads in front of your video because it's being pushed. The algorithm is sending it. It's putting it in front of people. People are engaging. So that video is automatically going to get ads, and you will never see a penny from that. Not until you cross that benchmark much further down the road, and maybe that'll happen quickly. Of course, if you had a viral video, that will probably push you over that. But until that very moment, let's just say you missed out on a week, right? Let's say you missed out on one day of monetization. How far would that go? So with little changes like that, we, of course, raise the question of the algorithm. We raise the question of impact. Is YouTube shaping the creator or the community, or is the community involving creators shaping YouTube? I don't really have a confident answer for you, but I hope that you're thinking about that. Whether you simply engage or whether you create, is it okay with you that maybe an AI would be shaping this? The fact that Uno Taco is out there, it's not really being pushed. I realize it's sort of it's something that I like. I'm not doing this for the money, but I realize it's probably not going to be pushed very much out there. Some of my pressure washing videos have been pushed pretty hard. And if you haven't seen those, of course, if you're not interested in pressure washing, that's fine. But most of you are here because of that video, because the algorithm took it, because, we're having this conversation, because most likely you saw one of those. And so there's value there, but is that direction being who's steering the ship, I guess? The community, I think, should have the say and the engagement so that there's any sort of authenticity. Right? I think that's what we're seeking. We're seeking truth. We're seeking authenticity. We're seeking connection, even on a crazy platform like YouTube. And we see that more now than ever. And as someone who really, I'd say, started engaging more in creating back in 2020, this is a new venture for me. I feel like I'm not really going to have sort of my footing until I've created at least 100 videos. But until then, I just am asking those questions and hoping that you're asking those questions. I just find it interesting. So whether you feel the need to comment, I'd love for you to share what you're thinking, share how it's impacted you, share some of those frustrations. There are a lot of creators that have found frustration just in this season. Hey, it's like, I'm not a TV show. I don't have a production team of 20 people. I don't have a budget. I don't have a sponsorship. Do I have a place here? Am I just here to talk to myself? And honestly, for Uno Taco, sometimes that's best. It's best that I talk to myself. I haven't even shared a lot of this on my personal, private social media pages. The ones that like your family and friends are following. Right? I haven't even shared my YouTube channel there. I only have a few friends, people that I've known in the past life that engage with these videos. And so it's really interesting to process that, to think about that. And again, I'm thankful. I'm thankful for YouTube. And it got me through some hard times. And maybe that's why you watch YouTube. There was times that I felt that I was living vicariously through certain channels and connecting with people. And it's that weird relationship. And if you've gone through something like that, you understand, where you feel like you know somebody and you're following them and you're connecting with them. And even though they don't know who you are, of course, there's just that sort of connection that really can get you through dark times. For me personally, I've gone through depression. And I would say there's been some really dark seasons of that depression, something I've battled with. And usually in those seasons, honestly, there's just been some channels on YouTube that have really carried me through in a way that at the moment, human connection, it filled that void. And I'm all about human connection. I'm all about people. I'm all about, hey, we need to be together face to face. We need to engage in the messiness. But when it comes to that void, when it's just realistically, when it just doesn't happen, when a pandemic happens and you can't be around people, are there at least people listening, and are at least places we can engage safely so that we can have conversations, ask questions, throw our hands up at YouTube sometimes, and in frustration or in excitement, and just be able to move forward together and talk together. So it's a little bit of a scramble, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Scrambled eggs are tasty too. We don't have to always do them sunny side up. This has been another episode of Uno Taco, episode 11. Thank you for your patience. It's been a couple days. If you've listened this far, you are awesome. So to be rewarded, you are now allowed to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I want to grant you permission because you have made it all the way to the end of this. You've watched me eat tacos. You've heard me speaking. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention and your consideration. Until next time, I hope we've got something to chew on. See ya.